Hello, ladies and gentlemen of Internet World. On this very humid evening. I'm gonna go for a walk. Motorcycle going by. Got my upper hip flexor muscles are barking at me. I need to stretch these out. That's telling me I've been walking a lot lately. That'll hopefully loosen up on the walk, I hope. So anyway, this is July the 9th, 2024. I watched a Trump rally from Florida tonight. I thought he was going to announce his VP pick tonight because he had just about the entire Trump family there in the front row. But nope. Nope. Nothing of the sort. Gotta go see what that in the road is. What the hell is this? Something I found on the road that was lit up. See that? It says banana coconut. It's got a charging port. I'm guessing it's some kind of vaping. So I'm going to put it here off to the side. I just wanted to see what it was. Now we know. So that's somebody's vaping thing. So you never know what you find when you're walking with J.Beau. One man's junk is another man's junk. Anyway, I just saw something in the road there that had a light on it, and I was like, what the hell is that? So we're gonna walk. Get my 5 miles tonight. So anyway, I was watching the Trump rally, and he didn't name a VP. And it's amazing to see all these people online. They just keep repeating over and over and over again. Trump's a convicted felon. He's a child rapist. He's a bunch of other stuff. There's nothing there like when Trump was president, this was bad, or that was bad. And it's like, to be honest with you, I really don't care if Donald Trump's face is orange or not, if people can afford to eat food and have affordable fuel. So what is it they're voting for? So anyway, these people are ignorable. And that's what we will do. Polling's looking really good. They're trying to slip in their suppression polls. Those are starting to come out, by the way. I saw one today by, I think it was Binadex. I think it's called Binadex. And they're very liberal. So they came out with a poll that has Trump just 1% ahead of Biden. So I'm thinking national polling had Biden behind Trump before the debate, and now he's right back where he was, like the debate never happened. So there's a lot of wonky things going on. I saw another poll where Trump was 10 points ahead nationally. I saw another one that said 5, another one that said 2. I think it's safe to assume that he's ahead. Especially now that selfish Biden has said he's staying in. It's got to be deflating to Democrat voters. And you had a bunch of Democrats calling for him to come out. They had a congressional conference today. And James Clyburn, the third-ranking Democrat, I think, came out and said, regardless of Biden this or that, he's not dropping out. He's our guy. So the Democrats are going to have to back Biden because he's not stepping out. I told you he wouldn't. Then we have the White House doctor saying that nothing's wrong with Biden to prevent him from doing his duties. You didn't see what you saw for yourself on the debate stage. So that's okay. The doctor in the White House, by the way, is also a business partner with Hunter and a company that they did with the Bidens. So there's no shocker there. These people are going to just go absolutely insane. Which is fine, because there's really nobody. There's nobody. I even saw one poll today that said Kamala beats Trump if they make Kamala. And none of the other polls did. So, you know, I don't know who the hell they're polling, but it's pretty ridiculous. Toss those out the window. But one thing that has happened is Trump has surged ahead in the swing states. Right now, it's looking like an electoral landslide. He might even get the popular vote this time. If things stay the same. I still think between now and the election, Biden is going to do and say something dumb that's going to hurt him because he can't help it. People are going to be watching intently every little damn thing he does, which is good. And also, I saw Ted Lieu of California today in a video talking about this conspiracy theory that Trump and Epstein raped a minor girl together. supposedly Trump held the girl down while Epstein raped her. And this video online of Trump talking with Epstein's lawyer, where the lawyer said, you know, Trump was completely, it was actually the prosecutor said that, you know, Trump was absolutely had nothing to do with that. So that's how desperate they are right now. They're going to try to manufacture something, and you know, and the average person with common sense is like, okay, this supposedly 2008, 2009, they're trying to bring it back now, you know. Now, when Biden's doing horribly in the polls as a desperate Hail Mary. So that's what they're doing, folks. Desperation. Ted Lieu embarrassed himself today, though. You have to watch that. Telling the media, you ought to look into that Trump thing. Like, you know, nobody in the media has thought of anything else to tear down Trump with since 2015. They would just mysteriously miss that opportunity. That's desperation, man. That's pretty bad. So, that's what they're doing. They're getting desperate. I'm pretty sure that Trump would have been indicted for something like that before, you know, falsifying business records, stitching two crimes together that weren't crimes to make a crime, you know. Stitching two misdemeanor offenses together, one of which had expired from the statute of limitations, saying that both of them were done to commit a crime, so that's a conspiracy. That is a felony charge. So that's what they did. They're trying to tell me they would do that instead of like raping a child, because there's not one single Trump voter, not one, that if Trump was guilty of raping a child would vote for Trump. Democrats, they think we're all brainwashed like that, and we would, and they don't get it. No, we would not. So they're pretty desperate at this point. They got nothing left. Literally, I got nothing left. So it would not surprise me if the DOJ comes up with something. Try to prosecute him for something new. Just to be able to say that he's been indicted before the election. Hoping people would tire of it and just not vote for him. So we can quote unquote have normalcy, like expensive gas and can't afford your rent and things like that. You know, normal. So anyway, Trump did say something at the rally tonight that I fully support. He said that schools that teach gender ideology should be defunded. The Department of Schools should be disbanded and sent to each state. Shouldn't be federal. He wants to defederalize is what he wants to do. And I think he's got a lot of support for that right now. Of course, you're still going to have the FBI, the ATF, and all that stuff, but talking about the Department of Education, corrupt to its core with far left extremism making policies nationwide. And that should be a state by state, states' rights. That's what it should be. So that's what he wants. I support that. And the other thing he said was not using tax dollars for affirmative care for people that are trans, which is fine. I don't care if people are trans, they can do what they want, as long as they do it as an adult. and they don't use tax dollars. You know, it's pretty fair. And I don't think tax dollars should be used for abortions either. But anyway, what do I know? One thing I do know is that transitioning children should be illegal because it's child abuse. What I mean by children is I mean by minors. And they like to say things, you know, like that's not true, and they've stopped saying that's not true because it is true. There are 13-year-old women who have had double mastectomies because somebody convinced them they were a boy. Said if you do that and take these drugs, you will literally be a boy. You'll be a whole new person. You'll be happy. And they're ruining these kids. And there's a lot of academia which has paid for studies. That's what I call them. They do things like I noticed the dictionary definition like they did for vaccines. They changed it because of COVID. And the new therapeutic mRNA vaccine that's not a vaccine. Well, they did it with the word transsexual. The medical establishment had called transsexualism what it is correctly for a long time. Now, the dictionary says that's a slur. It's an insult. It should be called transgender. So it's up to us to stop using their little catchphrases. Like cisgender. Somebody's straight, they're straight. It's not cisgender, it's a made-up word. So, we're walking on here. Getting a sweat going already. It's very humid tonight. Maybe you can see it in the street lights and stuff, but maybe you can, maybe you can't. So anyways. So it's kind of cool. I switched car insurance. I talked about it a little bit on the previous walk. Previously, I had tried to call Allstate before, or State Farm, and they were not the cheapest. But at the time, I was paying $36 a month for my insurance because I have a really squeaky clean record. And then it got jacked up to $69, $63. And then it got jacked up to $100, 99 something a month. All just in the last 2 years. So I looked into an alternative, and I actually got a price quote in the mail because I had filled something out online for somebody else. So I don't know how they got my info. Well, I do. They shared the info, third party. And I got a letter in the mail with a price quote for the car I have, which is a Mustang. My Mustang's about 20 years old. It's only got about 86,000 miles. It's in good shape. And Doesn't cost as much to insure as a newer vehicle. But anyway, the point is, it's a, it is warm. My eyebrows are wet already. So I looked at the price quote and I'm like, wow, I'm gonna lower my deductible $150. Got the same coverage for bodily injury, same coverage for collision, same thing for liability. Okay. And I even got roadside assistance for $60 added on there. That ain't bad. It's not bad. Roadside assistance. That's always good. So, I didn't have that with Geico. I also had extended, they lowered my deductible. So now, it would cover something like a broken windshield. Because before that would have been out of pocket because it would have cost less than what the deductible was. So now they lowered the deductible substantially. So pretty happy with that. And my monthly bill is now going to be a lot less. $35 less a month. So happy about that too. Over a period of 12 months, $30 a month. Well, do the math. It's $300 and something dollars. $360. So that was definitely worth it. And they have a physical local place that I can go into. In fact, I think I walked by it on my walks. She said there's only 3 people that work in the office. And what I like is I call them up, and I've called them twice now. And somebody answered when I called. No answering thing. Can't beat that with a stick these days. I just know they're going to be more attentive when I need something because of an accident. And they actually have a place you can actually go into and talk to them. I think that would be really beneficial. You could say, look, this is what happened. And then you could say, I got this video right here, or I got these pictures. You know, so they're going to try to make it sound like this, that, or the other thing, but that's not what happened. You know, you'd be able to defend yourself. I've never been in an accident. I'm sure it's not fun to deal with. I don't want to have a hassle. So anyway, I think that's going to work out okay. I do. Whew. It is friggin' warm tonight, fellas. It's friggin' warm out tonight. So it's kind of funny watching the Democrats right now scrambling. And they are scrambling. They know this is really bad. And they're not going to be able to whitewash this as a one-off. Because people have been hearing about this for a while now, then they finally saw it for themselves. There's no putting a band-aid on that. That's it. So Trump's VP pick is going to be very important. Usually people just say, well, you know, but it's going to have to be somebody because they're going to play that angle that Trump is old too. And look who he has for a VP pick. What a joke. It has to be somebody credible. So we'll see what happens with that. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun to watch. We're going to see it all. Frogs are going crazy tonight. Crazy. Realize it's a little dark. I realize it's a little dark over here. We'll have some light here coming up. I promise. It's a crazy world, man. We're just living in it. I do like this time of night. No traffic. Or very little. Very little traffic. Wow, is it steamy tonight? Holy cannolis. Holy cannolis. Had a thunderstorm earlier. Wasn't too severe. Don't know if we'll get another one tonight. It's possible. I looked at the radar. I didn't see anything. Maybe I got time to finish my walk. Phew. I am using the chest cam tonight. Chest cam. Hips have loosened up. That's good. All about loosening up. Well, Trump was speaking from Doral, Florida, and it looked warm there. He had his jacket, a shirt, and he was wearing a Trump hat, and his face was wet from sweat. On another note, Barron Trump was attending. Trump said it was the first rally that Barron attends. I had him stand up. He stood up and waved to the crowd. Thought that was interesting. So, things are going along nicely thus far. It's funny watching the Democrats in panic mode. Sounds to me like they have a plan. They're gonna rally behind Biden. That's what it looks like. Crazy as that sounds. I think the media, whatever they have said negatively about Biden, they're going to start spinning it a different way. because that's their job. And they're going to look foolish for saying it. Or you're going to see them continue hammering on Biden because they know he's not going to beat Trump. They know that. No, I don't want to sit back and say, because nothing's in the bag, but I'm telling you right now, if things stay the way they are and Trump doesn't do anything to harm himself in the polls, I don't see anything changing. Even if it's just 2%, even if it's a lowball estimate of a 2% lead. .2% is a lot nationally, electoral college vote-wise, because we're talking about electoral college votes, not popular votes. I think Trump has a chance for the popular vote this year because of Hispanics and adding more percentage of black people to vote for Trump. There's a lot of misinformation out there on the left about Trump. I've seen a couple of lefties today talking about how Trump's lost millions of followers. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's more popular now than he was ever. So I don't know who's telling them that, but they go to all this leftist propaganda garbage websites and The Guardian, Daily Beast, all those ones losing money, the New Yorker. So now, tonight, New York Post was reporting on a story that the White House knows that transitioning children is not popular with voters, even their own. And they hid it. New York Post was reporting that this leaked information, the White House knew that and they hid it. They hid that information because of the money involved with the companies that are doing the transition and stuff. So that's going to be a big story breaking soon that Democrats are going to have to climb uphill from, because it's true. And what I mean by that is it's true that it's not very popular among voters, and they know that. And that explains a lot why Angus King and Governor Mills in Maine were pretty quiet all of Pride Month. Voters don't like it. They went after the kids, and it's blowing up in their face this year. And I think you're going to see that in the elections too. Now, I saw an early prediction today. This is an important one. And he was very careful not to equate this to a red wave like they talked about in 2022. But this is early prediction polling that has been done. And they're predicting that the Republicans are going to gain 20 seats in Congress. And they're going to gain quite a few seats in the Senate. If Biden doesn't drop out. And that was the big concern with Democrats. They don't want to lose the House and Senate and then have Trump in the White House, because Trump's going to be hellfire. He's not going to fall for any Russia collusion, special counsels, and anything like that. He's going to have 4 years to get done what he can. And I really think he's going to take a page from the Democrat book and do so much so quickly that they're going to be inundated, because the Democrats are going to file a lawsuit with everything he does, everything. They're going to be calling for impeachment, and that's why it's important that the Democrats don't have the House, because they won't be able to do that. So I think voters have figured that out. Democrats have shown that you give them the power like that, they're going to abuse it. So why would somebody vote for Trump and then not vote for a congressman to be a Republican to protect your vote? So it's going to be interesting to watch. I think if anything, with all the stuff that's been happening, I think voters are getting a lot smarter. They're paying attention more is what it is. And of course you still have the meat sticks out there who don't know anything about anything. They're never going to. But I'm talking about like people in Maine who have figured out ranked choice voting. It's no longer effective like it was in the first time they used it. And I think we're going to see some interesting things in Maine. Here. I don't know if Ontario is going to unseat Jared Golden, but Jared Golden went after the guns, AR rifles specifically, and I am absolutely certain that did not play well with voters because he changed his tune not long after he said it. Instead of banning them, he said we should have a tax stamp, which is a gun registry. You have to register it with the government and pay a tax stamp for something that people have been using for years with no issues. So tax stamp wouldn't have stopped the mass shooting that happened last year, is the point people are making. He had all of those legally, he would have paid a tax stamp, and that would have been that. It would have happened anyway. So these people are on crack. So we're going to get all these anti-gun people out of office. Stop falling for the tricks. Jared Golden's a blue dog Democrat, trying to pass himself off as a moderate, like he's some kind of right-leaning something. No, he's not. He's not. Ontario, and all Jared Golden's going to do is he's going to say Trump, Trump, Trumpity, Trump, Trump. But the problem is, Trump is winning this district. So what's he going to say? I was wrong for wanting to ban your rifles. Sorry. And the reason why I say that is in February, around the time of the State of the Union, Biden was polling at 28% in this district, and Trump was polling at 45%. And the difference was listed as undecided or independent. So Trump won this district twice. There's no reason to believe he's not going to. And Jared Golden voted to impeach him. So that's strike two. Then he said he won't be Pelosi's puppet, which for the most part he wasn't. But he hopped onto the infrastructure deal for the climate stuff. And so that's strike three. So I've been trying to find new polling on Jared Golden. And the thing is with Maine, you're lucky to get a poll done every 6 months on people. And by the time you get it and, have that to rely on, 3 months go by and they could have changed. So it's a hard thing to put your finger on in Maine. We don't have any good polling here. And that's because of the lack of population and, candidates have to spend money to have that done. So, a lot of the candidates in Maine don't have that kind of money. And you would think that the media would do honest polling. WGME does a poll sometimes, but I don't know if you can trust the media anymore for anything at all. I don't even trust that they're throwing Biden under the bus when they're throwing Biden under the bus, because deep down it's only because they're afraid Trump's going to win. It's not to inform the public about Biden. They want him out. So as soon as it's seen that he's not going anywhere, which is exactly what's going to happen, Biden issued a challenge to his party. He said, if somebody wants to unseat me at the Democratic National Convention, then go ahead and explain to the voters why you did that. So that's what he said. He's challenging directly the DNC, saying, if you're going to remove me from this, you'd better know what you're doing, because I'm not going to go peacefully. So there's a power thing going on there. And I have to be honest with you, I hope Biden wins, because if Biden wins, we win. And according to what I've seen, there's really nobody. We saw, there's a deer in the road up ahead. I don't usually see deer over here. That vehicle saw him though and slowed down. And I know you can't see that from here. I'm just letting you know what I saw. I was like, that's awfully big to be a dog in the road. Because it was a deer. But anyway, they're gonna force Biden out, and they're not gonna do the 25th Amendment, because that would be too messy. That would be brutal, and you'd have to work with Republicans, and they're not going to give Republicans a chance to say, I told you so. And they would. So I think we're stuck with Biden. It's either going to be Biden or Harris. Kamala Harris has already mentioned something about, a black woman as vice president. They can't replace somebody like that. In an interview she did. She's sticking with Biden. Oh, there it is. That's your answer, folks. The White House is going to be 100% committed behind Biden. I still think you're going to have people in the White House leaking to the press, because they're going to see the poll numbers and they're going to see Biden's not winning, and they don't want to lose. After the Democratic convention, though, that's it. The DNC has until the Democratic convention, I think, which is in 7 weeks. I thought it was a lot sooner than that. The Republican one is. So they got 7 weeks to get rid of Biden, I'm guessing. I gotta look up the date for that for sure, but I think that's what I saw. I don't know where that deer went. There was a deer. There was a deer. So that's what we got, folks. That's what we got, folks. Oh, my face is soaked. Man, is it humid. My goodness. Goodness gracious me. I'm also wearing a 3/4 length baseball style shirt like a dummy. It's not my best choice. I'm wearing my army fatigue pants, also cargo pants, instead of shorts because my shorts are dirty. I got 3 or 4 pair I didn't wash yet. So that was another dumb thing. Oh well, I'll make it. Might be actually a good choice because last night walking I had to knock a couple bugs that stuck to my legs because they landed on me and I was sweaty. So that's not good. Whew. I am sweating, folks. Wow, wow, wow. Also ate before my walk. I usually don't do that. I'll eat an hour or two before I go for my walk, or I'll eat light. Just a little bit of rice with some corn or something. No meat, nothing that's going to digest. I don't want anything heavy on my stomach when I walk. So I had a full plate of food before leaving, which involved some beans and some beef. That was good. Beef and beans. Homemade. Season it myself. Put a little bit of not the traditional Old Bay seasoning, but there's another one that I had picked up. It's actually pretty good. I had that on the beans. You can put that stuff on anything. They recommend, seafood, eggs, but it goes on anything. Put a little bit of black pepper. Pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. You can see these puddles. Rained pretty good earlier. I know, I'm watching the radar thing. 60-mile-an-hour winds. Quarter size hail, not quarter inch, quarter sized. It can cause damage to vehicles and roofs and oh, that's nice. Didn't get none of that. Didn't get no 60-mile-per-hour winds. Didn't get no hail. I'm not disappointed. I'm just saying they like to spook everybody. Probably for ad clicks. It's a problem with the media today. You can't trust what you get because you don't know why they're telling it to you in the way they're telling you. Whew, sweat dripping down my legs. Underneath my pants. That's unusual. I think this is the muggiest night I've walked on, actually. Feels like it. Oh boy. Water's running in the canal there pretty good. You can hear it. I did have a lot of rain. Speaking of which, we're going to have a lot of rain Wednesday and Thursday. Late Wednesday night, actually, tomorrow night. So I should be able to get my walk in before that starts. But Thursday is going to be a washout. And we're supposed to get like torrential tropical rains, it said, which I'm assuming is going to be the remnants of Hurricane Beryl cutting up through New York State and swooping over to Maine before going out to sea. It's going to be a rainmaker, which is why it's so humid right now. There's no cool front to keep it south of us. So, which is good that it's petering out, because if it had been a hurricane, then going up the Atlantic, we don't have a front there right now to keep it away from Maine, and we would have got hit with it. So it keeps its strength a lot over water, obviously, but over land, just going to be a lot of rain. So it's not going to be too bad. I'd be more worried about 60, 70 mile an hour winds or something, but I don't think we're going to get that. That's the kind of stuff we got this winter that ripped those trees over, and a lot of people lost power. So, whew. Oh yeah. Wow, my forehead is wet. Wet, wet. Hot diggity dog. Whew. Hot diggity doggity. .19. 3.2 miles right now. Well, I gotta make sure I get my 5 miles. That's the thing. The other thing is tonight's really hot and humid. I don't want to go up that big steep hill tonight. I'd rather walk a little bit extra around it. Call me what you want. I don't care. Whew. All right. Let's go up this way. Oh my goodness. This is so much worse when you're sweating a lot. Takes more out of you, you know. I don't mind walking a little extra tonight because, like I said, I'm going to get some rain tomorrow night. Might even start raining early enough where I won't get my walk in tomorrow night. because it's going to be 90 degrees during the day. It's going to be hot. So probably would not hurt me to have a couple days off from walking either. It's trash night also over here. I've been noticing when I walk by and they get their trash out, you can smell it. It smells like a dumpster. Ooh. Whew. I'm getting salty. So somebody left a comment on my J.Beau 1873 Cattleman video. And they were asking me about my disassembly video. They didn't have that model of J.Beau. They didn't even have a J.Beau. They had a brand I'd never heard before. And the way he explained it, I don't know what the hell he was asking me. But he was asking me, he said he lost a spring and a pin fell out. He lost a little pin. And now he can't cock the hammer and lock it back. And also the bolt stop, whatever turns the cylinder, isn't working. And the way he described it was he thinks it's something that goes up in front of the firing pin that goes straight down to the trigger. I'm like, well, I don't know what you have. He said what he had. I'm not familiar with it. I don't remember the name of it. Never heard of it before. I did a search, and it turns out one of their 38 special models they make is single action, double action revolver. So that has extra parts. I don't know anything about that. I don't know the design he has. So a lot of times I get asked questions by people that don't know anything about that stuff, and they don't know what to call anything. And I have to guess what they're talking about. I couldn't help him. I just asked him if it was a single action / double action, or if it was just a double action, because they make 3 different ones. So, and it's not a brand that's still in production, so that's not going to help him either, because if he needs that part, unless you can universally find something at Wolf Springs or something, I don't think he's going to find what he needs. Numric, or Numrich as I call it. Numric or Midwest Gun Works, a couple other gun parts places. So you might have a chance. I tracked down an extra firing pin from my Marlin 336, because you have the 1980s Marlins where they changed the design a little bit, and you have the pre-80s Marlins, and mine's a 76, and it has 2 different firing pins. So it's really important to research what you're getting and what you need, and not just hurrying up and looking for a part on eBay and say, okay, well, I'll get this one. If it doesn't fit, then I don't know what to do. Well, just take the time to look it up. A lot of those brands, people have written about that on the internet like forever and a week. And there's actually websites dedicated to 1970s Marlins, 1950s Winchesters. And so anyway, I got an extra firing pin for my Marlin. I got extra ejectors, and I'll worry about anything else I need when I need it. I also know the barrel band on the fore end. You can't find those anymore. Nobody makes an aftermarket one. So that's the kind of part when you do find one, someone's going to want $100 for it. Hopefully the new Marlins they're making now it'll fit, but I doubt it. Probably end up having to bring it to a gunsmith so they can make something, which would be okay. It's still going to cost some money, but I don't need one or anything. I'm just saying, even the bolt that holds the band on, you know, if the head of that strips, mine's a little bit stripped from previous owners using flatheads that they shouldn't have used on that. And so I have to be real careful with that when I change that. So I got a gunsmithing bit. The flathead is squared, so it really grips good in the slot without stripping. I use that on my Heritage Rough Riders. I use it on my black powder pistols. I use it on anything that's got flathead screws. My Marlin, my Henry. So it's important to get the right tools. You don't damage older firearms where you're going to have a hard time buying those parts. So I researched the parts for my Marlin, and stuff like the lever. I can find those. Can buy a bolt. The extractor on it, though, I'm not so sure about. But I do know that the Henry ejector spring fits in the Marlin, and the Marlin one fits in my Henry. That I do know. So I've tried it out already, because I have an extra Marlin spring, and I also have an extra Henry one. That Henry was nice enough to send, because I called them up and said that spring broke. They have a lifetime warranty, and they sent me two. And as far as I'm concerned, an ejector spring is a common use part that breaks just from using it. So, you know, I'm really surprised they offered to fix that. Because in my opinion, I don't think they had to. Now the firing pin, that was a different story. I hadn't really used it much, and the tip of the firing pin broke. I guess that was a known issue they have. And it's nice to know that all I have to do is call them, and I will get one. It's also motivates them to make a better product, because the less people calling for parts, it saves them money, obviously. So I don't know how many rifles they sell, but if they're replacing firing pins all the time, that's not good. There's the flag. I always salute it when I go by. Salut. Thank you, fellas. Vietnam vet lives there. Basically, I'm saluting him, but the flag too. coming up on 4 miles shortly. I'm gonna hang a left up here. This is the longer way instead of going up that steep hill, but I don't mind walking a little bit extra. That hill would kill me tonight because I felt my hips when I started walking. Not my hip joints, but my hip muscles, tendons and stuff. They felt a little stiff tonight, which is old age. I'm 56, so you know that's going to be expected. It's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. We all start to fall apart. That's the way of things. I just don't want to fall apart yet. Just hit 4 miles. Hour and 10 minutes to do 4 miles. Oh, my face is dripping. That's all right. We'll be wrapping this up soon. I got the worst of it over. Back and drink like a quart of water. That ought to do it. That ought to do it. Not thirsty yet, because I drank a couple glasses of water before walking. Now, if I did that in the wintertime, I'd have to stop and use the facilities. But because I'm sweating, I'm using it up, which is why I did that. I'll cut across here. There's a car coming. I'm also starting to feel hungry, and I ate before I left for my walk, so I think I burned it up. I've burned it up. I'll cross back over this way. See my shadow. Hi, shadow. My shadow waved at you. Wow. As you can see by the trees, there's no breeze at all. It's like dead calm. It'd be nice if there was a breeze. That sweat would cool me off. There's nothing. Not a damn thing. Completely quiet. Wash my stuff, take a shower, and then toss my junk in the laundry. Might see some deer tonight through my last stretch on this walk. Saw a deer on this lawn before, right over here. That was in the afternoon. It was in the wintertime. Probably we're looking for food or something. Freaking quiet in this neighborhood. That's why I'm not going to talk too loud. I don't really need to anyways. You guys can hear me. Trash cans stink. Stinky trash can weather. Go up this way. The hair's so thick, I think you could cut yourself a chunk of it and eat it. Probably not, but it's thick. Good thing we're almost at sea level. Imagine it being like this up in the mountains. I'd probably be dead already. Funny, I saw some people on the internet earlier. I was posting about this woman had stopped a mass shooting a couple of years ago at a high school sporting event. Somebody in a rifle started shooting at people in the parking lot. I don't know if you remember that. Probably not, because the media didn't talk about it for long. As soon as they found out a woman who carried a handgun put an end to it and saved a lot of lives, the officer said. They don't want to hear stories about white young women with firearms stopping a mass shooting. But that's what happened. So anyway, I had posted about that and somebody was commenting on it. And it's always these Europeans, you know. You Americans just salivate over the chance of being able to shoot somebody. You're hoping it happens. They always say things like that. So they're so stupid. You know, what are you gonna do? And you got policies in some countries in Europe where what they want women to do is to let themselves get raped and then report it. Can you believe that? They don't even want you to defend yourself. Just let him finish. Call the police. It's like, really? You're out of your friggin' minds. In the words of Dirty Harry, when I see somebody chasing a woman down the street with a butcher knife and an erection, I shoot the bastard. That's my policy. It's one of the best lines in the movies. That's the America I know. Take no crap. Don't put up with no crap. You got the right to defend yourself, and killing somebody in self-defense is legal in all 50 states. All 50. Even Hawaii. They'll probably treat you like a criminal, though. Like I said in last night's walk, France is gone. France is gone. That video of Marine Le Pen breaking down, bawling her eyes out when she found out she lost. A lot of people were saying, oh, she couldn't take losing. She's crying for her country because she knows that they just lost their country. They're going to have a 90% tax there, and they're going to make all these illegal citizens, and it's a disaster. Friggin' disaster. I'm predicting there's going to be civil war in France. It wouldn't be the first one they have. And it'll be deserved. It really will. I feel really badly for the French. You got 4 or 5 of the biggest cities control the entire country's politics. You're going to see rapes go up. You're going to see murder go up. Drugs, prostitution, everything. Organized crime. Because they're stupid people. Not the voters. The people that just got voted in. They're traitors. They don't care about France. They care about an agenda. They don't care about France at all. It was definitely the worst case scenario that could have happened. So, they're going to have the Olympics there, and they're already making jokes about how the Olympics are going to be in Paris, France. First Olympics ever in a Muslim country. It's supposed to be a funny joke, but it's actually quite sad. You might even see some people in France organize some terrorist cells to save their country. Are they going to be terrorists or are they heroes, you know? I don't know. I'm not French. History will say, I guess. Histoire, if you're French. Le histoire. Friggin' Macron, what a sellout. What a piece of garbage. And you had those 2 other parties, they ceded power So their voters would vote for the far left just so Marine Le Pen wouldn't win. France's Trump, basically. They did double their seats in Parliament, though. So they have the potential to be a thorn in their side. And you're still going to have two other parties. But the leftists have a big advantage. And they're basically openly Marxist, communist, socialist. That's who's in power in France now. So that's it. It's toast. France is done. By the time they're through this term that they have, I guarantee you they're not going to have fair elections next time. Not even sure they did this time. I didn't see anybody talking about it online. That's French. They seem to trust their elections. I do know that in 1975, France outlawed mailed ballots and machines. You have to vote in person with a paper ballot. I think you can do absentee. I hear rustling. I'm listening for deer. Probably going to see some tonight, so I'm going to be quiet. I got my flashlight ready. See that right there? That's a deer crossing sign. Because deer cross here. See anything? Wow, it's quiet. I just hit 5 miles in an hour and 26 minutes. I go across over to this side. Whew. Oh man, my clothes are drenched. I'm soaked. The neck of my shirt down to underneath my chest is soaking wet. Sweating right through my clothes. See if we can see anything through here. I don't see anything in the woods. I bet that looks cool. Oh, I don't see any deer. I mean, a lot of times I've come through here, right where I'm shining my light, there'll be 3-4 of them right here. They stop on the side here and they eat. Something in there they like. Specifically. Ooh. Fell off the road into the ditch. That's not good. Car coming behind me. Ooh, that did not feel good. You get a bad back and you step into a hole and you don't see it. It's not a good feeling. I didn't get that too bad though. It could have been worse. I've done that before. I've had to stop and recover. But I'm okay. I'm okay, dadgummer. Oh, how do you spell relief? All right. Oh. All right, we're on our way again. Goes in the category if you gotta go, you gotta go. I edited that out though. I'm sure nobody wants to see or hear me go to the restroom in the woods. And if you do, that's none of my business. Well, I only saw that one deer tonight way up ahead. I haven't seen anything else. Sometimes I see them in here too. I don't see anybody in here. Oh dear, that's my little USB rechargeable flashlight. I like this one. That's the same one I was telling you sometimes I put on the side of my rifle. It's pretty good for that too. Nope. There's nobody hiding in here. Anybody across the street? No eyeballs in the woods looking at me tonight? Nope. There's nobody around tonight. Everybody is hid. Whew. Well, this walk will be wrapping up shortly. And thank you for walking with me. Click like and subscribe. And share the content that is pertinent to what you want to share. Whether it's firearms. I have been asked to make some more vinyl record posts. Videos. I should do that. I just might. I always have a little story. I always have a little story to go along. Every record album has a story. Well, golly gee, thank you for walking with me. Keep your head up, keep your chin up. Things will get better. They might get worse before they do. I know that doesn't sound very helpful or hopeful. But that's what we're doing currently. Just hit 5.5 miles. I got a little ways to go. So I will sign off at the corner here, like I usually do. And I'll just sign off over here. So thank you, everybody. I'm gonna go home and take a nice shower, drink a ton of water, and maybe listen to a record. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.